sing that song. It's definitely my theme of life. I love it. And I just want to thank Faith for asking me to speak tonight. As she shared with you and as Darren shared with you, I just am so honored that God has called me to tell my story of His healing and faithfulness through my life, through speaking and writing. I do want to let you know really quick that on the back in my table, there is 3x5 cards and a mailbox and pins. And if you have any prayer requests or if you want a question answered by me, feel free to write it on that 3x5 card, stick it in the mailbox. I would love to answer your questions or pray with you. Or you can contact me on my website, whitneyward.com. I consider it an honor to chat and pray with you. But I'm just in awe at the doors that God has opened with publishers and the places that I've been able to share my story. I know without a doubt that where I am today would not have been possible without His strength to climb every mountain I have faced. And I just love how the Lord works, because after Faith shared with me her vision for tonight, I came across this quote by a writing friend. Your ministry is found where you've been broken. Your testimony is found where you've been restored. And I couldn't believe how true that statement was, especially from a writer's point of view. And I'm going to tell you why. We'll break it down for you with a basic English 101 lesson. I'm sorry for you all who haven't gone to school yet that we're jumping into a lesson right now. But anyway, within every book, there is a beginning that sets the stage. Then there's the middle of the book, that there's all that meat and there's substance and action, and then you get to the ending that ties all the conflict up. And the literary term for this is the plot, which are the main events of the story. And the plot is the storyline, and every author's plot is unique. So I want to pose this question to you. What's your plot? What are the main events of your story? Where does the depth and action lie in your story? So I know it's tough to find that, and I want to help you see that you have to spot your plot. And that's how you're going to find your testimony, and that's how you're going to find your ministry. Now, I know that it can be very hard to find that. And when I was your age, I thought, what was my plot? Why did God have me on this earth? What was my purpose? And I found really quickly that those details and that everything I was going through, they were all coming together to show me what my plot was. So I'm going to jump right in and tell you a little bit about my story. When I was born, I was a tiny thing. I weighed 4 pounds, 9 ounces, and I was not even a preemie. And I dealt with constant infections. I battled pneumonia. I was a severe asthmatic. And when I was 6 years old, everything came to a head. I woke up one morning with severe knee pain. My knees were hot to touch, I couldn't walk, and I just was in so much pain, and eventually I could walk, but it was with a severe limp. The next day, I spiked a fever of 105. Something was seriously wrong. My parents took me to Cincinnati Children's, and I found out that I had septic arthritis in my knees, which was easily treated. But my doctors also discovered that my blood counts were not where they were supposed to be. I remember being taken from department to department, being tested for things like cancer, lupus, MS, AMCF, and everything came back negative. I did not have any of those diseases. Many doctor's appointments later and tests later, I was given the very broad diagnosis of combined immune deficiencies complicated with autoimmune hemolytic anemia, which basically meant my doctors had no clue what they were dealing with. This mystery illness did not give me the easiest childhood. I was in a constant state of anemia. I slept 12 to 14 hours a day. I had 3 to 4 doctor's appointments a month. I missed anywhere from 75 to 100 days of school a year. And while most kids had the energy to participate in many different activities, I only had the energy to do one thing. And I often felt like I was standing on the sidelines, watching kids my age go on with their lives, and getting to experience all those exciting milestones that every kid looks forward to, and mine had just stopped. I never became bitter, but there were times it really broke my heart. And I wondered, how did this fit into the plot of my story? What was the purpose of dealing with the constant exhaustion, the lack of quality of life, the missed opportunities, the bullying from kids at school who didn't understand my situation, and the hurtful comments about my appearance? I could see God's faithfulness every single day. I had an amazing support system within my family and church family, and I chose to see the joy and find the little things I physically could do. But with those difficult circumstances that I had to face, it was difficult to spot my plot. Little did I know, because I was choosing to seek God's face, even in the midst of circumstances I didn't understand, and through the strength He gave me to keep on going, I was about to see that these details were a part of His wonderful purpose for me, and it was going to be more than I could ever imagine. Eventually, after a lot of trial and error, my doctors did find the right treatments to help my immune system not crash. I was stable, fragile, but stable. In 2010, my immunologist sent my case to the National Institutes of Health, or the NIH, known to most people. It's in Bethesda, Maryland. And he told me that if they found something, they might give me a call. The NIH, if you have never heard of it, it is the government's national research facility. And new diseases are discovered in their labs, as well as groundbreaking research on known diseases. About 3 months after my immunologist sent my case to the NIH, I received the call I was waiting for. They called me. And they cautioned me that more than likely, they would never figure out what was wrong with me. I would just be valuable research to them. And I understood why they told me that, but I just had this feeling deep within my soul that I was about to embark on the most amazing journey ever, and I was right. In 2013, 3 years after I became a patient at the NIH, I was introduced to a man named Ian. Ian was a student at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was getting his MD and PhD in immunology. And he had come to the NIH to my main doctor's lab, and he was given my case. And they told me that Ian discovered that my disease was caused by a rare gene mutation. And it had spontaneously mutated while I was in my mother's womb. And I was the first person in the world to be discovered with this immune disease. And I would be the subject of his dissertation. It was surreal. Never would I thought this would be a part of my story, but my plot was about to thicken. For the next year and a half, Ian and my research team, they went to medical seminars and conferences presenting my case, trying to find someone like me, but they never did. And I remember sitting at the round table at the NIH with my parents and my medical team, and my main doctor explained this. She shared that normally, when the first person is found with the disease, more people come out of the woodwork with this illness. But this did not happen, and that was unusual. So what they were surmising is that most babies are either stillborn or miscarried. So, as you can imagine, that is pretty hard. And my mom looked at my doctor and said this through her tears. So what you're saying is that all babies are a miracle, but my baby's even more of a miracle? And my doctor said yes. It's a miracle she made it through her pregnancy. It's a miracle she's still alive at 26, and it's a miracle she's doing as well as she's doing, because this gene mutation is very horrific. And I remember sitting there feeling so humbled and honored that God would choose to breathe life into me and put his hand of protection on my life. I did not have to enjoy the quality of life I was finally getting to enjoy. But here I was, getting to do things I never dreamt I would get to do, like going away to college and getting a degree in creative writing, getting to participate on mission trips, getting to manage my grandparents' garden, getting to work out at the gym, and also teaching at my home church the 1st and 2nd grade Sunday school class. I was just in awe of the blessings that God had bestowed on my life. But little did I know, there were still some exciting twists and turns ahead in this chapter that would be huge in revealing my greater purpose. Because I was the only patient working with my NIH team that had this disease, I formed a really special bond with it. And I was offered 2 once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. One, Ian invited me to come to the University of Pennsylvania to hear him defend his dissertation. And because he knew I was a creative writer, he also asked me to help choose a name for this new disease. I could vote on the names that my doctors had come up with, or I could throw a few names I liked into the ring. So my favorite name that I came up with was Magis syndrome. M-A-G-I-S. Magis fit all of the scientific requirements, but it also held a special meaning. It meant more in Latin, and I wanted any patient who be diagnosed with this disease to know that they are more. But it also referenced a Latin phrase, to the greater glory of God. And I knew it was because of God's glory that I was even alive. But I resigned myself to the fact that more than likely they would not choose this name. So Ian's dissertation was on September 9th, 2016, and I have to admit, most of what he said went way over my head. But then he got to the part where he thanked everyone who had got him to this day. And he told the audience that he had a special person in attendance that he wanted to thank, who just went above and beyond to help him achieve that moment, and that was me. He told the audience that I understood all the blood that he had asked for, all the bizarre research tests that I agreed to do would not only help me, but help future patients. And then he pulled out a bouquet of flowers from underneath the podium and he presented them to me with a hug. And I was on cloud 9. That day, could have hit it right there, and it would have been perfect. But he still had a big announcement to make. What would the name of this new disease be? He then told the audience that the name they decided to go with was Magis syndrome. Oh my goodness, my heart filled with peace, and my soul was just jumping with joy. And it was then I received something that I didn't even know I needed, and that was closure. Everything I had been through, all the pain I had experienced, had not been in vain, but for a greater purpose. I had finally spotted my plot. The Lord had given me this story, so I could speak and write uplifting words to people, telling them they are more than their circumstances. And if I can climb my mountains and get to the top victoriously, then so can you. Today, there are only 5 known patients in the world with Magis syndrome. And one of them has already passed away. And at 31 years old, I know, shocker, I do not look like I'm 31. I've aged really well. But I'm the oldest one living with this disease. So I can say this with assurance. It might take some time. You might experience some trials. You might face uncertain times and scary unknowns. But in order to see the bigger picture of your purpose, you have to take the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, realizing that it all makes up your story. Because it's through all the chapters in your life you find your ministry and testimony. So, you know how after you read a great story with interesting characters, beautiful settings, and a great plot, you just want to share it with others? Well, guess what? You're a bestseller. And you have a story that can help others, and that's why it's so important for you to spot your plot. The more you seek God's face, He'll give you the answers, and He'll reveal your purpose in the world. Because here's the exciting truth. Your story, your testimony, and your ministry could be the key to